my dear friends and net aspirants, welcome back to yet another video lecture of high point about cultural studies, and here we are going to learn about the production and consumption of culture. So in the last video we learned about popular culture. So we are actually one after another we are learning and we are trying to know and understand various topics and various terms related to cultural studies in these initial videos. Later we will move on to more deep and drenched kind of topics related to cultural studies and proper, and also about the contributions of popular cultural studies thinkers too, as we pass on each and every videos. Okay, so let's begin. Before beginning, let me tell you, you can WhatsApp me or call me in this number if you have any doubts and queries related to NTA, UGC, NET, JRF, English, or any other subject that we are sharing here on my video on my YouTube channel. And if you want to join a WhatsApp group in which I am sharing daily quiz question and its answer, as well as news and updates related to NTA, UGC, NET, along with some study materials, then you can obviously go to the description box and click the link and join. Or if not, you can WhatsApp me or call me in this number. I'll share the link and you can join freely, you and your friends too. And more than that, if you're interested to have free study materials in the form of study card, reels, and small videos and stories and live attemptable quiz questions and all, then obviously you have to follow me in Instagram, because there I'm sharing lot of free materials related to NTA, UGC, NET, JRF, English language and literature. So why wasting your time? Go and follow me in Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram page, then go and create and join and follow me, and you can follow many more other people who all are actually sharing some value materials for the same subject. Okay, make use of the most things that you are getting. So without wasting time, let's move on. This video is going to be a very short video. Here we are just discussing what is meant by production or consumption of culture. So we have seen what is popular culture and what is meant by the term popular culture in the last video. So I hope you have already listened to that video. See, these terms that we are discussing now, like popular culture or mass culture as a term itself, we will repeat that thing in the further videos. So if you have missed one, you will be having a little bit of great difficulty to follow whatever I am saying. So I am not going to repeat all those things that we have already discussed in the further videos. So you have to follow the exact order when you are listening to this video. So if you have not listened to the video about popular culture, go and visit and have an idea about popular culture. At least what is popular culture, what are the characteristics and what are the concepts related to popular culture. That is very necessary. Otherwise you won't get a connection when I refer in context about popular culture. When I mention a word popular culture, you will feel some sort of strangeness to follow whatever I am telling. Okay, so that's the problem with the cultural studies. Here we are not dealing with the individual kind of concepts. These concepts are interrelated. So you better know what I have taught you in the previous video, then you come to this video. Okay, otherwise you will feel difficulty. So I hope that is understood. Let's have the introduction. So culture of a group or community include various aspects. So we know that culture, even though it is a single term, it is actually an amalgamation of various things, and culture is not that is possessed by the elite. Like we had a notion before 1950. See, in the previous video we have already seen that in 1950s and 60s a change happened to the approach of cultural studies, in which culture was considered as something something ordinary. Okay, culture was there with every other people, and just like the elite people have a culture, the lower class or middle class people, they have their own culture and need to be studied. That's why popular culture emerged as an important theme in cultural studies. Okay, so culture of a group or a community, it includes various aspects, like economic aspects are there, spatial or things related to space, how people are occupying and where people are occupying, where certain people are occupying. So such kind of spatial things are there. Then ideological things are there related to a culture. Then erotic things are there. So erotic things means how one should dress up, or what are the rituals that need to do in order to get married. So such kind of erotic in this is not related to sex, but something related to beauty standards. Certain people will have certain kind of beauty standards, other society, other community have another kind of beauty standards, and also political aspects to cultural studies. Okay, so these are the some of the various aspects related to culture. It seeks to study how a particular object or practice get currency or meaning or value in a society. So when we think about production and consumption of culture, it is all about how certain things, objects means not only the artifacts, the things that we can really things that are palpable, or we can hold them in our hand, or we can see the objects, but some ideologies or some objects, how they are getting, or practices or customs, how they are getting currency in the sense popularity, how they are getting the acceptance, and how they are emerging in a society, and at the same time how they are getting a kind of meaning or value in a society. So if only a custom or practice gets a value or meaning inside the society, then only it will get a currency, right? So how it is getting? So that's the major study whenever we think about production and consumption of culture. Mainly, production and consumption of culture is linked to matters of class, matters of economy, matters of representation. So whenever a cultural object or a practice is getting currency, or we are thinking about how they are getting currency or meaning, we are actually linking that things to three major things, that matter of class, matter of economy, matter of representation. That means matter of class means who is deciding what is need to be produced. So what is produced, who decides on that? Matter of economy, who can afford it? And matter of representation is how is the artifact is going to get marketized or presented. Okay, so these are the three things that we will look at or linked to whenever we think about production and consumption of culture. Please make a note of it. Okay, this is very important. So coalescing these three into cultural studies by collaborating or making it together into cultural studies, the production and consumption of culture is linked to power and identity. Matter of class. Obviously, the elite people, they have the authority to decide what to produce, right? Matters of economy. So, who can afford these produced things? Mainly the elite people, right? How they are going to present, or how these things are, artifacts are going to get marketized. Again, it will be in link to their own ideologies. I mean, elite people's ideologies. So, it is mainly related to production and consumption of culture, and getting a currency to a cultural artifact, and getting a meaning for that cultural artifact in a society without any question. It is related to power and identity. About identity, we will have yet another elaborate video section. Now, this is related to production and consumption is related to power and identity when we consider these three questions: matter of class, matter of economy, matter of representation. Okay. So, what kind of artifacts are produced defines one's identity. Okay. So, what kind of artifacts? See, a community will have its own artifacts, right? A kind of literature will be flourished in a society, a kind of financially, economically. So what kind of artifacts that you have with you in the form of dress, in the form of literature, in the form of cinema, what kind of artifacts you have with you that defines your identity. See, what kind of dressing style you possess and what kind of things that you are doing in your life, that is define what kind of customs and what kind of things that you are following, what is your day-to-day life, how it is going through. So that defines your identity to the outer world. So production or consumption of artifacts depends on the ability to do so, the ways in which these artifacts have been marketed and sold. So how powerful you are determines how whether you can produce or consume these artifacts. So the production or consumption of culture or cultural artifacts, it is determined whether you are able to produce or consume this artifact. That defines your identity. See, certain artifacts are there. See, we will discuss that later, okay? Then I'll elaborate on it. So the ways in which these artifacts are being marketed or sold. So you have to have a power and identity in order to produce and consume an artifact. At the same time, you should have an ability even to market these artifacts. So the culture is product that is made. So culture is also a product that is made, marketed and consumed by people. So culture is not that just like it emerged. See, take the example of Onam. It's a kind of we feel that it is a kind of celebration that we have that we have in Kerala, which is actually very neutral, quite away from any caste. Everybody celebrates it, right? But in this occasion of celebration of Onam, you are wearing Kerala sari, right? A particular kind of sari, Kerala sari. But who told you that you have to wear Kerala sari? Who were the people who were wearing Kerala sari in ancient time, or maybe 50 or 60 or 100 years back, a century back? Who were wearing this particular dress? Okay, Kerala sari, of course, it looks good. It is a nice kind of dress. There is no doubt about it. But think about the ideology behind it. See, we are seeing Onam as a very secular, popular kind of celebration, right? There is no class discrimination, religious discrimination. Everybody is celebrating Onam in Kerala. And they are also wearing, without any question, they are wearing this Kerala sari, Kasavu sari, for the celebration when to college or to institutions they are working, or in houses even. Why they are doing it? Because in 100 years back, it was not the dress of even 1% of the society. They were not wearing Kerala sari. Only very elite people, very rich people were only afforded this kind of a sari. Okay, so how come now it is became a part of this society as a normalized thing? It was not the dressing style of majority. It was not part of popular culture, this dress code. But now it is part of popular culture. How come that happened? Because a renaissance happened in Kerala, and education was flourishing. And who decides this? This kind of dress is so good, you have to wear this kind of dress. Nobody actually came to you and directly told you that, see, you have to wear this dress, and this is a kind of legitimate dress that you have to wear during this occasion, and this is a kind of dress that represents Kerala in a way. It was not the dressing style of majority of people. Then how come this dress code represents the entire Kerala? Right? How come that is possible? But it was the elite people who are in power, who were educated, and who had the power. They actually massively created this notion that, once you can afford it, then it is the best dress that you have to wear for this kind of occasions, to temples, to Onam celebration, to Kerala Piravi celebrations. You have to wear this kind of a dress code. Who decides that? So it is the elite people, not the lower class people. But lower class people, they always cherish to pursue whatever the high class people were doing. So when they actually wanted to spread such a notion, it was quite easy for them to market it. So after marketing that notion through various things, like through media, through mass media, by seeing people wearing that even, and also such culture was made in here and got marketed through media, not only through TV, radio and all, but people also consumed it. That's why it got naturalized that in Onam celebration we are wearing Kasavu sari or Kerala sari. There is no wrong about it. Nobody is going to question you, or there is no wrong that you are wearing Kasal sari or Kerala sari in it. But I am just discussing the ideology behind creating such an idea. Okay, so that's how it got consumed. Now people are consuming that idea, that cultural artifact of dressing style. Okay, so I think that is clear. It is not, if it is not clear, just contact me in the number. Okay, so now let's discuss another notion related to, related to production and consumption of culture, that is power or culture. So power is equivalent to culture, or culture is in a way proportionate to culture. So what type of, whether you are capable enough to produce or consume or market any of the cultural artifacts, then that defines your power. Then you are a powerful person. Powerful person means you are not yourself a powerful person, you belong to a powerful community. Cultural studies addresses questions like why certain authors are studied while some others are not, even though they are read widely and quite popular. See, take the example of Shakespeare and Agatha Christie, okay, or Arthur Conan Doyle or Bram Stoker. You cannot find Agatha Christie or Bram Stoker or Arthur Conan Doyle in most of the English language and literature syllabus of MA or BA classes. Why? More than Shakespeare, people are reading Agatha Christie, people are reading Bram Stoker, people are reading Arthur Conan Doyle's detective novels. Why? They have no representation, they are not getting any entry to the syllabus. Who made the rule that you need to study Shakespeare? Shakespeare, of course, he is a great author, there is no doubt about it, but Agatha Christie is also a great writer. Arthur Conan Doyle is also a great writer. That's why their works are popular, right? How come they got a restriction while Shakespeare got an entry, or any other classical writers got an entry? So this is a question. Who determines that? Why that happened? Another question, how does walking through the city street become significant as practice? How is it important that you go to some urban area in order to shop something and you walk through the street, and where these payments, who decides that payment should be here, roads should be here? Who decides that? In that society, who decides that road should be go through this area and the payments, the pedestrians should go in this area? Who decides that? Who decides these rules? And what are the economic and political implications of creating special outlets and exhibitions of tribal culture for elite people to purchase them in metropolises? So you can see that there are some exhibitions about tribal cultural items, cultural artifact, and you will go and you will see wooden spoons and many things they are using, and some honey, natural honey, and many such kind of products you will see in that exhibition, which are from, they will tell that they have brought all these things from so and so tribal people and all. So you won't see much tribal people there. You'll see some salesmen and women there. They are wearing some kind of dress. Maybe traditional kind of dress, not the traditional dress of tribal people, but most probably in Kerala you will see Kerala sari. And who are going to buy these artifacts, tribal cultural artifact? These wooden spoons, it will cost large amount of money. And do you think that this money directly going to the tribal people? I don't think so. So why such kind of exhibitions are going on? Tribal cultural items are exhibited, and why these things have a higher kind of money, why they are demanding high kind of money, high kind of prices for these cultural items, and only most of the items can be afforded only by elite people who are powerful, in the sense who are having financial background with them. So what is the economic and political background or implications or meanings of creating such special exhibitions and outlets? And each of these questions suggests a connection between culture and power. So if you analyze these questions carefully, you can understand how power and culture, they propagate each other and they are connected very closely. And further moving, we can see, if you further just dismantle or further just analyze this question, you can also ask questions like, who decides that Shakespeare must be read, not Agatha Christie? Who decides the spaces for the pedestrians and automobile? These questions that I have already asked. Who gains economic profit from selling tribal artifacts? Is it the tribal groups, that particular group of which these artifacts are selling? No, you won't even find a real tribal man or woman there in that exhibition or outlet. You will find normal people. Normal means, I mean, the urban people there. And usually these kind of outlets we can find only in urban areas, not in village areas. Because it is interested to elite people of the urban area who are actually living in close with or living in the center of power or center of production. So they will come and buy, and the economy or the finance or the prices of these products will be almost everything will be of higher prices, right? So the elite people only can afford it. And do you think that all this money are going to the tribal people? No, it is not. So these questions are not only cultural questions, but they are questions of political and power. So these questions are related to politics and power, as well as it is related to culture as well. So who is deciding this? See, do you think that these questions are not matter? See, we are not, see, Agatha Christie is popular more than Shakespeare, I think. People are not interested in reading the original play of Shakespeare anymore. We are only the academic people, academic students, they are only reading Shakespeare. But the normal, the common people, they are reading Agatha Christie, they are reading Bram Stoker, they are reading Arthur Conan Doyle and enjoying it. But since Agatha Christie, Bram Stoker, or you can see who else? Arthur Conan Doyle, these people belong to the popular taste of popular culture, and Shakespeare is not a popular taste of popular culture. So that's why Shakespeare got an elevated status, which is regarded as more cultural, academically more cultural, more more classical in the sense, and that is studied, that is selected by these elite people, because elite people, they actually finds this popular culture as trifles or like inferior. Okay, so that's how Shakespeare got an entry along with some other classical writers. But now in cultural studies, Agatha Christie even studied, Bram Stoker even studied, vernacular microscopic things of cultures are studied. So that's how cultural studies becomes a great and academic discipline after 1950. Okay, so and politics and power is related to cultures, because who determines all these things? Who determines? One who has power, like always, because somebody decides to give legitimacy to these artifacts. So who is this somebody? Somebody is the elite people. I'm not citing to one person, but a group of people. That is, cultural issues and themes are mediated through questions of economy and politics. So cultural things are not there just like that, and they are not aiming at any economic or political power or profit. Basically, cultural issues and themes are mediated or directly connected or carried out through questions related to economy and politics, and it is directly proportionate, directly related to power. So if only you have power, then only you can produce, you can consume certain cultural artifacts, otherwise you cannot. See, take the example of women. Women cannot go and women lacks this kind of power, and they are not elite class. Even though you belong to elite class as a gender of women, they are not elite. They lack power. So they economically also they are not in a status to generate any power. So most of them. So they cannot exercise everything as equal as men, because they lack the power and agency to create and produce anything. It's not that they are biologically or they are mentally incapable, but since they lack the agency to do so, because since they don't have power, people want the things that are produced by them, it is very difficult to market them in the sense to get a currency for this thing. Okay, so therefore culture is all about power. So if you have the power, then only you can produce, or you can consume, or you can market a cultural artifact. So that was about consumption and production of culture. I hope this video is very brief, because if I go on explaining, you'll get confused. So I hope whatever I have given in this video lecture, this is sufficient. And if you have any doubts, please make a comment about it, and directly ask me in this number, or call me, or WhatsApp me in this number. And also, if you want to join that WhatsApp group, where I'm sharing daily quiz question and all, you can go to the description box and click the link and join, or if not, message me directly. I'll share the link and you and your friends join. And if you are interested to have free study materials related to NTA, UGC, NET, JRF English, then obviously if you are there in Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram. My ID is right here, and you can follow me, and there I'm sharing lot of things. And in 2022 recently we are actually planning so many things through my Instagram. We are going to use the full-fledged use of every other feature of Instagram, in which you can go live. So I'm planning to have some live classes once we got an announcement of the next exam schedule. And also we can have reels there, and study cards, carousels, short videos, and lively attemptable quiz in the story session. So one by one we will be using all these features, so don't forget to follow me there too. So there I'm sharing free materials, guys, so you can save them into your account and you can use them as you wish. And if you are looking for really comprehensible, well arranged, simplified study materials, we have provided that too in my website www.highpoint.in, where you will get 900 audio lectures and 300 plus downloadable PDF materials, and also previous and practice question papers that you can attempt live on the website. And two, you can know your marks instantly after submitting the responses. So visit us and have that free trial and see whatever we have provided there, have the demo materials, and also don't forget to subscribe to the courses if you are interested, because a 15% of off is going on. Don't lose this offer. Join before the next announcement of NTA, UGC, NET if you are determined to have your NET in 2022. Okay, that's all about it. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to it and press the bell icon if you are interested, because I don't want you to lose any of the relevant topics that we are sharing here in this video lecture series. So that's all about it. Meet you in the next video session. Until then, bye bye and thank you.